What if I told you that one of the most overlooked reasons seniors lose strength and mobility isn't simply getting older, it's a specific, preventable form of nutrient deficiency? Here's a striking fact. After age 60, muscle mass naturally declines at a rate of about 3 to 8% per decade, a process called sarcopenia. But research shows this decline isn't inevitable. In fact, studies from Harvard Medical School and the Journal of Gerontology reveal that the right nutritional support can slow or even reverse muscle loss, helping you stay steady on your feet, climb stairs with confidence, and avoid falls that could take away your independence. And that's what we're talking about today. The 3 vitamins that science shows can make your legs stronger, faster, even if you've already noticed weakness or instability setting in. Now, this isn't about taking a random handful of supplements and hoping for the best. It's about targeting the exact micronutrients that work together with your muscles and nervous system to increase strength, improve coordination, and keep you active. These are vitamins that affect how your muscles contract, how your brain sends signals to your legs, and even how your body absorbs and uses protein to build muscle tissue. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 3 vitamins to focus on, the best ways to get them, whether through food or supplements, and how to use them in combination with simple daily habits to maximize their effects. Think of this as a science-backed toolkit for your legs. We'll break it down step by step in plain language so you can take action today. Because stronger legs aren't just about moving better, they're about living better. They give you freedom, energy, and the confidence to keep doing the things you love well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. So let's dive in and discover what the research says about rebuilding strength from the ground up. Have you ever wondered why some people over 60 seem to stay strong and agile, while others slow down dramatically? One of the biggest differentiators is vitamin D status. And it's not just about bones. Here's what the research shows. Vitamin D acts almost like a hormone in your body, influencing over 200 genes, including those that control muscle contraction. A landmark study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that seniors with optimal vitamin D levels had significantly better leg strength and faster walking speed compared to those who were deficient. What's happening in your body is fascinating. Vitamin D interacts with receptors on muscle cells, especially the fast-twitch fibers responsible for quick, powerful movements, like catching yourself if you trip. Low vitamin D means those muscle fibers don't fire as efficiently, slowing your reflexes and making falls more likely. And here's where it gets really interesting. Vitamin D also helps your brain communicate with your muscles. Nerve cells rely on vitamin D to maintain their protective myelin coating. Without it, nerve signals can slow down, creating a kind of lag between your brain's command and your leg's response. That's why deficiency is often linked to poor balance and muscle weakness. So what's the practical tool here? First, know your levels. A simple blood test can measure your 25-hydroxy vitamin D, the marker doctors use to gauge status. Research suggests that levels between 40 and 60 ng/ml are ideal for musculoskeletal health in older adults. If you're low, supplementation can make a dramatic difference, but dosing matters. Studies suggest that between 1,000 and 2,000 IU per day is safe and effective for most adults, though some may need more if their levels are very low. Always pair vitamin D with a meal containing some fat. Think eggs, avocado, or salmon, because it's a fat-soluble vitamin and absorbs best this way. You can also boost levels naturally through sunlight exposure. But here's the key. As we age, our skin's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight decreases by up to 50%. That means supplements become even more important past 60. The payoff is big. One meta-analysis in BMJ showed that seniors supplementing with vitamin D reduced their risk of falls by up to 30%. Imagine being able to confidently walk across a room, climb stairs, or step off a curb without that moment of hesitation. That's the power of restoring this one nutrient. So before we even talk about B12 or K2, getting your vitamin D right is like flipping the switch that powers up your muscle and nerve connection. It lays the foundation for everything else we'll cover. Have you ever felt tingling in your feet, numbness in your legs, or noticed that your balance seems just a little off? For many people over 60, that's not just aging. It's a warning sign of low vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is absolutely essential for your nervous system. It's responsible for creating and maintaining the myelin sheath, that protective coating around your nerves that allows electrical signals to travel quickly from your brain to your muscles. When B12 levels drop, nerve conduction slows, creating delayed reflexes, poor coordination, and muscle weakness. Here's what the research shows. A large study published in Neurology found that older adults with low B12 levels were more than twice as likely to have impaired balance and slower walking speed. In other words, if your B12 is low, your brain can be sending move signals, but your legs get the message late, and that delay increases your risk of tripping or falling. B12 deficiency is especially common after 60 because stomach acid production declines with age, and stomach acid is required to release B12 from food. That means even if you're eating enough meat, fish or eggs, your body may not be absorbing it efficiently. So what's the practical tool here? First, just like with vitamin D, testing is key. Ask your doctor for a serum B12 test. Ideally, you want to be well above the lower cutoff. Many experts recommend levels over 400 pg/ml for optimal nerve health. If your levels are low, supplementation is simple and safe. Oral methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin, two common forms, can restore B12, but if your absorption is impaired, sublingual, under-the-tongue forms, or periodic B12 injections can bypass the gut entirely. Typical daily doses range from 500 to 1000 mcg for maintenance, though higher doses may be used temporarily to correct a deficiency. And here's a powerful protocol. Combine B12 supplementation with daily leg activation. Simple movements like sit-to-stands from a chair or light heel raises. As your nerve conduction improves, you're essentially retraining the communication between brain and muscle, accelerating strength gains. The effect is often dramatic. Patients report that within weeks, their legs feel more responsive, their walking feels smoother, and they have greater confidence on uneven surfaces. Before we move on to vitamin K2 and why it's critical for building strong bones and joints, I want to pause and invite you to join this community of science-driven health seekers. If you're finding this helpful, hit subscribe. That way you won't miss the next steps in this protocol, and you'll keep getting evidence-based tools to keep your brain and body at their best. Because when it comes to strength after 60, information is power, and applying it can be life-changing. Most people know calcium is important for strong bones, but here's the surprising part. Taking calcium alone doesn't guarantee it ends up in your bones. In fact, without the right traffic director, that calcium can get deposited in soft tissues like your arteries or joints, which is the last place you want it. That's where vitamin K2 comes in. Vitamin K2 acts like a GPS system for calcium. It activates two key proteins, osteocalcin, which helps lock calcium into your bones, and matrix Gley protein, which prevents calcium from accumulating in blood vessels. Think of K2 as the guide that tells calcium, go to the skeleton, not the arteries. Here's what the research shows. A study published in Osteoporosis International followed over 4,000 older adults and found that those with the highest intake of vitamin K2 had significantly stronger bones and a lower risk of hip fractures. Another meta-analysis in thrombosis and hemostasis found that K2 supplementation reduced arterial stiffness, meaning better circulation to your working leg muscles. Why does this matter for your leg strength? Strong bones give your muscles a stable base to work from. If your bones are porous or weak, your body will unconsciously limit how much force you produce to avoid fractures, a kind of neurological brake. By supporting bone density with K2, you allow your muscles to fire with confidence. So how do you get enough K2? The richest natural sources are fermented foods like natto, a traditional Japanese fermented soybean dish, certain cheeses like Gouda and Brie, and grass-fed animal products. But realistically, most people don't eat enough of these foods to reach therapeutic levels. That's where supplementation can be useful. The form you want to look for is MK7, a subtype of K2, which stays active in the body longer than MK4. Typical doses range from 90 to 200 mcg per day. And here's an important tip. Take K2 alongside vitamin D. They work synergistically. Vitamin D helps you absorb calcium, and K2 makes sure that calcium ends up in the right place. Timing matters too. Taking K2 with your largest meal of the day, which usually contains some fat, enhances absorption. When you combine K2 with resistance exercises, even simple bodyweight movements like wall sits or light squats, you stimulate your bones to remodel and get stronger. This is called Wolff's Law. Bones adapt to the stresses placed on them. With adequate K2, that remodeling process lays down fresh, dense bone where you need it most. So by this point, you've got vitamin D optimizing muscle and nerve function, B12 keeping your nervous system firing at full speed, and now K2 fortifying the very structure that supports every step you take. By now, you can see how each vitamin plays a unique role. But here's the real breakthrough. When you combine them with protein at the right times, you unlock a powerful synergy for muscle growth and strength. Protein is the raw material your muscles need to repair and rebuild. But here's what many people don't realize. Just eating protein isn't enough. Your body needs the right hormonal and nutritional environment to actually turn that protein into new muscle fibers. Here's what the research shows. Vitamin D boosts muscle protein synthesis by activating genes involved in muscle cell growth. B12 ensures your nerves are functioning well enough to stimulate those muscles during training. And K2 strengthens the skeletal structure, allowing you to safely load those muscles. Together, these vitamins make the protein you eat more effective. A great analogy is building a house. Protein is the bricks, but vitamin D, B12 and K2 are the construction crew, the blueprints and the foundation that let you actually build something solid. Without them, those bricks just sit there. So here's a simple science-backed protocol. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein within 2 hours of doing any strength or balance exercise. This can be a serving of salmon, chicken, Greek yogurt, or even a well-formulated whey protein shake. Pair that meal with your vitamin D and K2 supplement to maximize absorption and bone support. And don't forget muscle activation. Even 5 minutes of leg-focused movement, like slow, controlled sit-to-stands or calf raises, can dramatically improve how well your body uses that protein. This is because muscle contractions signal to your body, we need repair and growth here, making it more likely the protein gets used for muscle tissue instead of just energy. Timing matters here. Studies from the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition show that protein timing post-exercise can significantly boost muscle protein synthesis, especially in older adults who may have what's called anabolic resistance. That just means your muscles need a slightly stronger stimulus, more protein and movement to grow, compared to when you were in your 20s. If you're finding this practical and helpful, consider subscribing right now. Each week, we break down science like this into clear steps you can apply immediately to improve your strength, energy, and mental focus. Joining our community means you'll keep getting the tools that help you stay strong and independent, because small, consistent actions add up to major results over time. Now, we will talk about something truly exciting: how you can rewire your brain through simple daily movement patterns so your legs not only get stronger, but also respond faster and more efficiently. This is where nutrition meets neuroplasticity, and it's a game changer. Imagine if you could literally reprogram your brain to make your legs stronger and more coordinated, not over months, but starting in just a few weeks. That's not science fiction. It's neuroplasticity, and it's one of the most exciting frontiers in aging research. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to form new neural connections. And here's what's fascinating: when you pair the right nutrition with intentional movement, you can accelerate this rewiring process, creating faster and more efficient communication between your brain and muscles. Here's what the research shows. A study in Frontiers in Aging. Neuroscience found that older adults who performed balance and resistance training 3 times per week had measurable increases in the thickness of brain, regions that control movement, even within 12 weeks. When those participants had sufficient vitamin D and B12 levels, their improvements in reaction time and gait speed were even greater. What's happening in your brain is this: each time you repeat a movement, like a controlled sit-to-stand, you strengthen the neural pathway responsible for that motion. Over time, that pathway becomes like a well-paved highway, allowing signals to travel faster. This means smoother, quicker, and more powerful movement. Here's a simple, science-based protocol you can try. Morning primer. After taking your vitamin D and B12 with breakfast, spend 3 to 5 minutes practicing slow, intentional movements. For example, standing near a chair and performing 10 slow sit-to-stands, focusing on control. Balance drill. Stand near a wall or counter and practice holding one leg up for 20 to 30 seconds per side. This lights up your proprioceptive system, the network of sensors in your joints and muscles that tells your brain where your body is in space. Gait awareness. During a short walk, focus on feeling each step, activating your glutes, and maintaining a tall posture. This isn't just exercise, it's brain training. Pairing these drills with proper vitamin support creates a fertile environment for your brain to strengthen those motor pathways. Think of the vitamins as the fertilizer and the movements as the seeds. Motivation is key here. Neuroplasticity thrives on consistency. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day can yield noticeable changes in how steady and strong you feel on your feet. The first time you notice you're walking faster or climbing stairs with less effort, that's neuroplasticity in action. And here's a powerful mental shift. Celebrate small wins. Every repetition you do is physically changing your brain. That's empowering. It means you're not just passively aging, you're actively upgrading your system. Now, we will bring everything together into a simple daily routine. The exact dosages, timing and movements that create the fastest, most reliable results for leg strength and confidence after 60. By now, you've learned about the 3 key vitamins and how they work together with movement and protein to strengthen your legs. But here's the truth. None of this matters if it isn't done consistently. The real secret is turning this knowledge into a daily routine that becomes automatic. Consistency is where science meets results. Studies published in the journals of gerontology show that adults over 60 who follow a simple, repeatable nutrient and exercise protocol can see measurable gains in muscle strength and balance in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. That's not years. That's 1 month of steady action. Here's a step-by-step daily protocol to make this practical. Morning, vitamin D. Take 1000 to 2000 IU with breakfast. Ideally, a meal containing healthy fats, avocado, eggs, or salmon. Vitamin K2. Take 90 to 200 mcg alongside your vitamin D to ensure calcium is going to your bones. Movement primer. Spend 3 to 5 minutes doing slow sit-to-stands or heel raises to activate your legs and wake up your nervous system. Midday or early afternoon. Vitamin B12. Take 500 to 1000 mcg, sublingual if possible for better absorption. Pair this with a short walk or light movement session. This is a great time for balance drills, like single leg stands or walking heel to toe along a hallway. Post-exercise or evening, have a protein-rich meal or snack. 25 to 30 grams of protein is ideal. Pair it with a few minutes of gentle strength work, like wall sits or light resistance band exercises. This signals your body to use that protein for muscle repair. The key is to keep this simple. The whole routine takes less than 15 minutes per day, not counting meals you would already be eating. What you're doing is creating a consistent environment where your muscles, bones, and nervous system are always being supported, fed, and stimulated to adapt. And here's something powerful. Track your progress. Once a week, time yourself standing up from a chair 10 times or see how long you can balance on one leg. When you see those numbers improve, and they will, it reinforces your motivation to keep going. Consistency also builds momentum. The first few weeks might require effort, but soon it becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. And every day you stick with it, you're not just maintaining your current strength. You're building a stronger future version of yourself. If this series has been helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment sharing which part of this protocol you're most excited to try. Your feedback helps others learn from your experience. And of course, hit like and subscribe so we can keep building this science-based health community together. Now, we'll quickly recap everything we've covered, and I'll leave you with one simple challenge you can start today to see results. Let's take a moment to put everything together, because when you understand the full picture, it's clear why this works and why it matters. We started by looking at one of the most common yet overlooked challenges of aging, the gradual loss of muscle strength and stability, known as sarcopenia. We talked about how this isn't just normal aging, but a process that can be slowed or even reversed with the right approach. First, we looked at vitamin D, the switch that powers muscle contraction and strengthens the nerve-muscle connection. You learned how low vitamin D slows your reflexes, weakens your fast-twitch muscle fibers, and increases fall risk, and how simply restoring it to optimal levels can improve strength and reduce falls by up to 30%. Then we explored vitamin B12, the nerve protector that keeps the communication between your brain and legs fast and accurate. B12 deficiency can make you feel sluggish, off balance, or even numb in your legs, but supplementation restores myelin and improves nerve conduction speed, so you can respond faster and move with more confidence. Then, we added vitamin K2, the calcium traffic director, which ensures calcium is deposited where you want it, in your bones, instead of in your arteries. By strengthening the skeletal structure, you remove the brake that keeps your muscles from generating their full power. We didn't stop there. You discovered how these vitamins work synergistically with protein and intentional movement to maximize muscle protein synthesis. That's where you transform what you eat into new muscle fibers, not just maintaining strength, but actually building it back. Then we explored neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to training. Every sit-to-stand, every balance drill, every intentional step you take builds stronger neural pathways, turning wobbly, hesitant movement into smooth, confident action. And finally, we built a daily protocol that puts all of this together: the exact dosages, timing, and short daily movement routines that can create measurable improvements in as little as 4 to 6 weeks. Here's why this matters. Stronger legs aren't just about being able to walk faster or climb stairs. They're about independence, freedom, and confidence. They allow you to keep gardening, playing with grandkids, traveling, and living life on your terms, not worrying about every step you take. So here's my challenge for you. Start today. Take 5 minutes to check whether you have vitamin D, B12 and K2 on hand, and if you don't, put them on your shopping list. Then set aside 3 minutes and do a slow, controlled set of sit-to-stands. You've just taken the first step toward stronger legs, and if you repeat this daily, you will feel the difference. If this video resonated with you, let's keep this conversation going. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment about which tool you're starting with first. This community is about science-backed growth, and your progress can inspire someone else to take action too. Remember, your brain and body are designed to adapt. Age is not a barrier, it's simply a signal to double down on what works. You have the tools, now it's time to use them.